Hidden Object Guru here with hot new game Jusant. Or Jusant? I didn't actually check the pronunciation guide, although it was nice of them to provide me with one. Now, I've already completed this game. I will not claim to have 100%ed it, not even close. I missed 2 murals, and I missed just a bunch of letters, although I will say, it is nice of them to tell you which part of the game, like which of the game's levels the missing letters are in. See? It's a good system. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the game's levels, so you get a sense of how it looks and how it plays, and then I'm going to give you some thoughts on the game. So it starts with the day mark, moves to migration, Solstice, which is beautiful, Convergence, and I'm not going to show you what's after Convergence, because I would consider anything past here to be spoilery as hell. So one of the things that's fun about the game is the fact that each new area goes out of its way to teach you new mechanics. So this is the very start of the game, as you can see. Those little bubbles look cute, but are actually very important to the narrative. I won't explain why. One thing I was puzzled by here in the game is the fact that it starts there at that plateau, rather than you having to make this first leap. You can go back to how she got here, but it doesn't make you actually start the climb up the mountain, which I found a little strange. The first thing you should take note of with this game is its unbelievable beauty. Oh, little crab was running away. It is just a gorgeous piece of work. So as you can see, the world's oceans have disappeared. If the... Oh, that's where we're trying to get to, by the way. If the game's files are to be believed, that's because the Earth is in tidal lock with the sun, and so consequently the sun never goes down, turning this side of the world into an endlessly hot nightmare, and the other side, presumably, into a frozen wasteland. So, it's standard climbing game controls, one hand and the other to climb. It all works perfectly. Fun fact, I don't know, you have a item to hold you in place, which is nice. I don't know if you can die from falling. I've never had it happen. I played the whole game without dying, but I play very carefully. Not a lot of risks being taken. One of the neat things about the game is... Oh, do we not have that ability yet? Well, eventually we're going to get the ability to put our anchor wherever we feel like it. And you can just go and check out all of these little areas. There's a couple of collectibles I found by just putting my carabiner in some random place and dropping down off the cliff. It was pretty awesome. Ooh. You can also jump. Jumping actually becomes very important, as does swinging, rappelling, wall running. It is as good a climbing game as I've ever played. And as you can see, once you get the hand of just flicking your fingers back and forth super quickly, you can get around really fast. The secondary python is good. So, what you want to do is place a python there, then jump. The python will let you pick up where you left off. Also, if you're doing a really long climb and you're running out of stamina, what you can do is you can set a python, quickly lower yourself back to the ground to get your stamina back, and then quickly wind yourself back up to the python. Obviously, that only works if there's a location there to lower yourself to. I mean, it was supposed to be teaching me how to take a minute and rest your hands, which you can do at any time. In fact, I'll show you what resting one on the ground, B winds in the rope. Yeah, no, you did tell me that. Sorry. Still don't have the ability to anchor myself wherever. But yes, you can regain your strength at the expense of your maximum strength, which is important for long climbs. They wanted to teach us how to do it there, but I've just skipped that. This is the kind of thing you have to do to find all of the secret letters. Oh, look. It automatically set a python. There we go. Okay. She's an unbelievably good climber. I think, obviously. And that's what the whole game is built around. There's no monsters, there's no bosses, there's just some really, really difficult climbs. Ah, see? Letters. We've already unlocked all of those letters. I have no idea where the missing ones is. I didn't make a guide. Hopefully someone else will at some point. See? Ta-da! Rope can be attached to most surfaces by holding down X. Now I can just hop out the side and lower myself down. And see, I'm right back where I was. I can run around, look for things. As long as that cord lasts lengthwise, you can pretty much explore wherever you want. It's one of the best parts of the game. Now you can run along the wall. And you can, of course, also swing without running along the wall. If you want to just swing in space to make a big jump. Which you will have to do a number of times in the game. And those are extremely dramatic moments. Because you do a big swing and then you kind of like... you don't cut your cord, obviously. But you release the tension so it just flies out. These are shortcuts. You open them up as you go. And then you can go back and explore a place earlier. The only question is, can you, I think? I didn't use them much. I didn't do a lot, yeah. Generally, as long as you're within a fair distance. There you go. You can climb back up to them. It's stellar. Whoops. That was embarrassing. So, as you can see, the rope starts out blue. It gradually loses its color and turns to yellow, then orange, then red. When it's at red, the rope can go no longer, and you're stuck. You better start winding yourself back up. I'll just show you what that looks like. See? The gradual color change on the wire. Yellow. Now it's turning orange. And it's red. It's over. You can't go any further. So I cannot get back down there. Tragically. I'd love to explore down there. It's just not on the cards. So, the entire first level is designed to teach you all of these mechanics. Oh, and yes, winding yourself up and down does not take any stamina, because it's the machine doing all of the work. This can happen if you get too close to if you go on an edge like that. It is one glitch about the game. It can be hard to get back up to corners, which it shouldn't be, because it's right there. She should just be able to grab it. The game is so big and complicated that, yes, there are going to be times when this happens. I hate that I have to show you a glitch, but, you know, let's be realistic. Come on. Yeah, we may have to... Oh, I know. This is why, by the way, this is my own fault for going off a place that doesn't have a supporting area under it. Whenever possible, you want to rappel down a flat wall. If only I could switch myself over to that wall, I'd be set. Come on. There we go. Ta-da! I just had to stop it thinking I was trying to get on the wall on the left, and we got up there no problem. But yes, so the entire first level is about teaching you how to use these basic skills, which we've now done. So I'm going to show you what the second level is about teaching you. Alright, so chapters. Level 2. Alright. And now I'm going to introduce you to debatably the best thing in the entire game. Alright, so she's got a conch shell. She's got the horn. I'm not going to tell you why she's doing any of this. You're going to have to make it to the end or read the game's files to know why she's doing this stuff. It's very pretty. Can't get enough of this game's art style. You know these are the same people who made Vampire. It's Don't Nod. There he is! So anyway, you've just been introduced to my favorite part about the game. This is your best friend. He's a monster. I love him more than is probably appropriate. Now look what he can do. will say the game does an exceptional job of explaining what's going on in the world via that kind of small art and environmental design. Like a really amazing job. Aww. If you want to have a good sense, you should read the files, but you can get a pretty good... You really can understand the game, I think, quite well just by playing and watching the surroundings. As you can see, this is a world that used to be underwater. Now it's not. Now there's, in fact, no water left. But here's the important part. Ready for this? There's a cuddle with your friend button. There's a button that's just for cuddling with your friend. Anytime you want to, and are not climbing, you can just grab him and do a little cuddle. It makes me unbelievably happy. So, now you can climb these plants. And this is the second mechanic in the game. Okay. It's interesting, I've played this game 1.5 times because the playable demo that I did during the summer, like they did a playable beta to introduce people to the game, and it had like fully half the game in it. We weren't allowed to show footage of it though, so I just had to write a review. He can also tell you where collectibles and objectives are. So that's one kind of collectible. That's where your destination is, and is the other kind of collectible around? Anyway, he can tell you where conch shells and spinny rooms are. I realize spinny room isn't a useful statement, but here's the main mechanic you have to learn with him. You generate an echo and he makes plants grow. And you could have either waited at the bottom for that to grow and then climbed it, or just grab at the top and, you know, let it carry you up. Another interesting thing here in the game is there are alternate routes through levels, which will require you to miss various collectibles. It's too bad, but yeah, you have to do like all of the routes through a level if you want to get all of the collectibles. I'm not happy about it either. So now, you'll see they've made a mark on the wall there to let you know what you're supposed to do. Whoa. Is do a wall run over to this thing. See? How neat is that? So, I can continue up that way, or I can explore over here and look for a collectible. And what do you know? Ta-da! It's one of the game's many murals, which of course I've already turned on. You use his echo to light the murals up. But they stay lit up to let you know what you collected and what you haven't. It's too bad the letters don't have the same thing. I assume the cairns will. There are also cairns you have to finish. I'm making this the third game this year I've played where cairn finishing is a plot element. Well, a collectible element, not a plot element. Okay. That's right, I did use a Python before jumping. I'm not crazy. And this is the other element. He uses power to turn those on. But this is just how open this world is. You can dip down, look around, really get a sense of the scale of this place. Yeah, it's an amazing visual, and it's an amazing game. Alright, next level. Oh yeah, and he will spend the rest of the game hanging out in your backpack looking around, just being the cutest monster in the whole world. Alright, now we move on to Solstice, which, like the previous levels, is quite baller. He's so excited! Now, before you had some protection from the sun. Here you don't. So 2 new mechanics are introduced. You do have to get up there. That's true. It turned out that the last 3 levels are shorter than the other levels, so I'd actually played I'd played half of the game via levels, but game time I'd actually played most of the game. I was told that the game takes 5 to 6 hours to defeat. Defeat? Oh my god, what the hell am I talking about? To beat by the PR people. I would argue that is delusional. I think that this is a 4-hour game tops. But if you really want to find everything, yeah, 6-7 hours. Unless you're like using a guide. God, ziplines are beautiful in this game. Oh, didn't that just sound painful? Burbs! Anyway, I'm pro burb, what can I say? Okay. Alright, so, the trick is, when you get out in the sun, you start losing your your stamina faster. You might say, wasn't I in the sun earlier? Yes, I was. But it was less intense at that part of the day, he said, even though this world seems to be in tidal lock. Here's the key element, though. Ta-da! The plants you grow will disappear and burn away in the sun. Which means you have to start relying on something else to get around. Oh god, I hate the way he makes sad kitten sounds when he's trapped in the sun. He doesn't like it at all. There's actually a reason for that I won't spoil for you. So as you can see, I'm almost out of stamina. So I'm going to rest for a second, give my hands a shake, and it has lowered my maximum stamina. But it's given me more than enough to get up to this next area, which is what I needed to do. Oh, even when you're fully grabbed on like that, you still have to use the alternating hands to move around. Ta-da! Alright. More just gorgeous locations. Oh, here's the cute little monster that lives in that pen. Okay, we're farming creatures here. Again, it's all in the documents, like this one. I'm just going to pause now until I get to the next mechanic, which is a little further in the game, but is also deeply cool. Okay, so, next mechanic introduced here. Not the running. Obviously, you've already seen the running. I gotta run all the way down there. Perfect. Grab on here. Alright, and take me away, creepy giant vine. Whoa, don't know how I missed that. Again, there are wonky stuff in the physics that happen from time to time, but as long as you set pythons, you should be fine. See that station up there on the wall? That is a climbing station. Okay. As you can see, jumping does take a lot. Oh, apparently I've just got the trophy for restoring my stamina more than 50 times while climbing. It is a way station that is anchored into the rock. You can move your python to here, you can let go, and you can fully restore your stamina. It's great. Now I just jump over to that rope, and I do the next section of the climb. There will be climbs so long that you have to do that more than once. Okay. I'll take my rope back now, and prepare for the next mechanic that I was telling you about earlier. Big swings. See? Boom. And then you land exactly where you want. It's a fantastic system. Aww. This guy's such a cutie. Alright. Next mechanic. And here we are. So, see that little guy on the wall? Check it out. It's a bug! That's right. You can climb using bugs as handholds. And if you're having trouble grabbing them, using that will make the bugs briefly freeze in place. So you can jump to the one you want. Yeah, it's magnificent. It was one of the nicest surprises for me in the game that they added that mechanic. Okay, next mechanic. And yes, final. Chapters. I mean, I want to show you later in the game, but I can't. It's too much of a surprise. So, as you can see, that is a giant version of the bug. You'll meet him earlier in the game. He's a real cutie. Again, I know I keep saying this, but this game is just breathtaking in its design. It just looks so gorgeous. I think people should be playing it for that reason alone. Like, if you just want to have a game to be able to say to people, hey, you want to see the best-looking game ever made? It's not insane to include this game on that list. Should I check what engine it was made in? Probably. Alright. There's obviously a collectible over there. You're not a fool for assuming that. It's a weird jump I did. Very weird jump I did. Fun fact, back that other way, there's a place where you can get caught in the geometry and just stuck indefinitely. I had to restart the level. There is no unstuck button, tragically. But there is a new mechanic on the way. Ta-da! So, the fun thing about those space jellyfish over there is gravity gets a little weird when they're around. So what you do is, you take your little buddy here, you call the sparks together, and then you jump. And they will lift you as high as they can. Yeah! Everything about this game just gets prettier and prettier. Later in this level, there are some of the most gorgeous locations in the game. You go through this chasm where you're going from stalactite to stalactite. It is, again, breathtaking. And as you'll notice, the higher in the tower you go, the more technology you find. This is because as the water receded, people had to abandon the place they'd built. The further we get into this world, the more interesting the visuals become, and the more of a story it tells through the destruction. So, yeah, this thing was magnificent. Hey, it's a cairn I made, and yes, they stay finished. So there you go. We've just answered our own question. And by our, I mean mine. Check it out. He's going to tell me where the various... You notice there's no collectibles around. Presumably that means I've found all of them. One minorly annoying thing about the game is that occasionally he will not tell you where he won't tell you where, like, letters and cairns are. He will only tell you where... And he won't even tell you where frescoes are. The murals... He will only tell you where the big important things are. Which is fine, but you know. I would like a little more help now that we're in the post-game, guy. Okay, call the sparks, and now it's just... It's such a good system. Alright, so this is the final area of the game I can ethically show you. There is another big mechanic that I have yet to show you. But the next part of the game is such a transformation of the experience and just so visually stunning. I cannot ethically show it to you. The game came out the day I'm posting this. And I know some people are going to just post their full playthroughs on the day the game came out. And I respect that, and I don't judge that. If you find a second channel by me, you might be able to find that somewhere. Who can say? But here, I'm not going to show it off just because this is supposed to be an overview of the game. And I don't want that overview to contain major spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what I found out about the game's plot, huge details about the world, and I'm certainly not going to show you the amazing final levels of the game, which, I mean, I don't know if complete transformation of gameplay is a strong enough word for how amazing things get right at the end. It is just... you might be wondering, how can you do a boss fight in a game like this? What is a boss climb? And I'm just going to say, they found a way to do it, and the game's ending is 100% satisfying. And indeed, thrilling and a perfect capper to the experience. Anyway, I've been the Hidden Object Guru, and this was Jusant, or Jusant. Again, I did not check the pronunciation guide. I encourage everybody to get this thing. It is... Honestly, I haven't been as enthralled by just how a game looks since, like, I don't know, Shadow of the Colossus? That's the level of art design we're talking about in this game's world. I know this game isn't going to win any Game of the Years. I accept that. It's going to be on my Game of the Year list. But I know isn't going to get any Game of the Years, but if there's some trophies out there that it can get for art design, it deserves all of them. Look at how gorgeous this thing is. Alright, I will see you back here for more hot new games, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.